What are them sons of fishes up to now?
Fellas, I give you the force trolling motor. It is the most powerful, the most efficient on the water.
Yep. Most powerful. We're really in trouble now.
And it's quiet, too. You can't swim here.
What a dumb bass.
Maui Jim sunglasses were born on the beaches of Hawaii, designed to respond to the bright sun and harsh glare of the islands, all while enhancing the view. After 30 years, we're still independently owned, and the free-thinking Hawaiian spirit that first inspired us is still a part of everything we do. Our Polarized Plus 2 lenses not only protect eyes from harmful rays, they also make colors more vivid and contrast crisper. Try on a pair and see for yourself. The view's better from here.
G'day, quick show tonight, ABT Live number 31. We were sort of hanging out to get a few people that we've been chasing. We got them all by today and we thought, well, you know what, all the kit goes up to Tinaroo to start running some barra tournaments on the weekend. Let's get this show over and done with and talk about the epic amount of tournaments and opens and stuff that's happened in the last couple of months and all the cool stuff that's going to happen. So on the show tonight, we've got Steve Booth from Wilson's talking about some of the new brands that they've acquired and some of the cool kit that you get in the upcoming ABT Zerek BARRA Series. Fish 1 or all of the events of the series, you get some pretty cool kit. Depends on which event you fit, how much. Depends on which event you fish, how much kit you get. Some have a bit more, some have a bit less, but there's a base kit that everyone gets of some of the new and cool brands. Got some comps on tonight, of course, like always. Put in the comments, no matter whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, where you're from. Got a bait junkie pack here with 4 or 5 packs of bait junkies and some dye with scissors in one of their wallets. That is the prize for the where you're from tonight. We always love seeing what part of Australia our viewers are watching from. We got to talk to the big man, Carl Jocumsen. We got hold of him after he'd finished his epic hunting trip. We got hold of him yesterday, recorded a segment. Carl is so excited about coming out barra fishing. And in our next show, which is before the Barra Tour, we're going to try and do that. It'll be maybe in about a month's time after the Bass Pro Grand Final. We're going to get Jeff Gustafson on the show. And Gussie is the Canadian Bassmaster Elite Pros coming out with Carl to pair up and form a team and fish against some of the local blokes. As a side note, the Barra Tour entries are great at the moment. I think we've nearly got as many teams as fished last year already, and it doesn't happen until November. So definitely having Carl there and the Barra Lakes fishing so well is a catalyst for getting a lot of guys there, especially the southern guys that couldn't come up last year because of COVID restrictions. I know it seems like a long time ago, but last year a lot of the southern guys didn't make it up. And we've got 2-time Bass Pro Grand Final champion Dane Price, paired with Bo Everly from Grafton to give us a bit of a preview of the 13 Fishing Bass Pro Grand Final that's coming up at the end of the show. Some of the guys' tips, who they're watching out for, what the river's doing with that bit of rain we've had. I think all of the bass guys that have fished the Clarence actually would like a bit of rain, because the last 2 events we've had after floods have been epic tournaments with heaps and heaps of really big fish. So we've got that happening tonight as well. We've got some great, some Wilson's product here from Duo and Zerek. We've got that in a later segment of the show as well. So plenty of prizes tonight. Plenty's been going on. Let's run through what's been happening. It has been open season at ABT. The ones I've listed here, we've had the Queensland Open since we talked last. Good to see Jeff, the trophy, go to Victoria. Reese Harris made the big trip up from Victoria, and Jeff has gone back home with him. It was a bit of a battle of Reese versus the current champion Blake O'Grady to see who'd win that, but Reese did it well, did it in only 2 spots in the Nerang River. So Samaki, the sponsor of that event, it was on the live scoreboards, plenty of hits on the live scoreboards, and it was exciting right until the end. We've had the Australian Open Bass. That was up at Somerset. Everyone was worried it was going to fish a little bit tough, but boy, Somerset turned it on. Hundreds of fish coming through the app, and Mick Johnson and Tommy Wood had that sort of ding-dong battle. You probably have seen all the highlights. Mick Johnson surpassing Tommy with his last fish of the day to get that done. Won $6,000 in that one. We had plenty of boats fishing it. Young Tommy Wood fishing made the graduation from the back of the boat to the front of the boat. Wow, hit the scene with a bang. A second place in the Open. We're expecting great things from him in the Bass Pro Grand Final. We had the Australian Barra Open. Boy, it was a battle there as well. The lead was changing time and time again. Awunga fished pretty tough. I reckon we hit it. We're about a week too early to have really good fishing there, but nearly 50 Barra hit the scales. And at the start of it, we said, you know what, this is a tournament where people could come from nowhere to win it. Well, we saw that. We saw Jeff Newby and Keegan Hayden came through 0 on the first day, limit on the second day, and then closed it out with a great 3 fish, 30 kilo plus limit on day 3 to get it done. They displaced Jake Schrin, last year's winner. He kicked his old man out because he had a shoulder operation, had Dylan Mott in with him. So pretty powerful team there, came in second. And the Woods, Tommy and Rob Wood from Sunshine Coast Marine Electrical Doctor, came in third. So it was an all-star cast up the top of the Barra Open. Live scoreboards again, over 5,000 people tuned into those live scoreboards to watch how it was all unfolding. We had the Bass Electric Australian Open. Wow, Hins was a little bit stingy for that, but great to see Adrian Wilson. I think it was at the end of a string of plenty of donuts, came through and won that event with not a full limit of fish on either day. The lake had rolled, but he went up the top of that eastern arm and got the job done. Won himself plenty of cash and the respect of his peers for that one. So well done, Adrian. And most recently, the Gladstone Brim event. Wow, how long has Tom Deere been fishing ABT? He came through and won his first ABT Brim event. We didn't know whether he was going to win a Brim, a Bass or a Barra event. He's fished all of them, I think, in the past. But it was a Brim event. He absolutely smashed the field by over 1.5 kilos. At Gladstone there, mainly catching yellowfin and pikeys in the mouth of the Calliope River on his favourite atomic top waters and jerkbaits. So, and crankbaits. You can see the interview. It's on the ABT YouTube channel. Great to see Tommy and his partner Bridget come through for their first win. So that was great to see. What have we got coming up? We've got a couple of Barra events where the ABT train heads up to Lake Tinaroo. Anyone who's been to Tinaroo and experienced those events last year will tell you it is an awesome Barra lake. Not a lot of submerged vegetation, so the Barra are very visible on your live and your side scan sonar. Liam and James won that tournament from Anita Barra. They won that tournament last year with nearly 90 kilos of Barra for 5 fish. That's an average of like up around 1.10 meters per fish. When we were talking to the Americans that are coming across about it, it's like a 5 fish limit for nearly 200 pound. Let's have a look at the all-time BASS 20 fish record is 20 fish for around 130 pound, I think it is. So a 5 fish limit smashing the largemouths off the table. Good to see the lake fishing good. The word is that it's fishing pretty good again. It's a little bit higher than normal, but we're going to be hitting it at exactly the right time. Warwick Linden from the local stocking group up there, he's fishing the event. He tells me that it's warming up now. They're starting to pull water out. In Tinaroo, they love that dropping water. We're expecting some great action on the live scoreboards up there. And entry's still open. If you're up north watching this and want to come along, you get one of these great Barra packs we're going to talk about and the opportunity to win thousands of bucks worth of prizes and cash. And what else is happening? Well, the 13 Fishing Bass Pro Grand Final, that is happening as well. Grafton just had a couple of little minor flood through it. All is setting up for that to be a bit of a fish fest as well. The prize boat's coming together. We've got the Mercury 60 horsepower motor going on the back of the 463 alloy craft boat. It's going to have some green marine lithiums in it. It's got a motor guide on the front. It's got some Lowrance sounders in it. It's a pretty cool prize pack that will be turnkey put together by Owen McPaul from OMP Style down the Gold Coast. And let's not forget the Bass Electric guys. The Bass Electric Grand Final's happening at Wivenhoe in a few weeks. Got a P95 bluefin to give away for that as well. It's got a Minn Kota front and back. It's got a Humminbird Helix in it, and it's got the batteries. It's on a trailer from Precision Trailers. Turnkey package as well for someone who's qualified by only fishing one Bass Electric event. So all the invites have been sent out now for Brim, Bass Electric Grand Finals. If you haven't got them, give the ABT number a call or send us a text tomorrow, 0427 32 64 64. Flick us a line. We've had a little bit of problem with some Gmail addresses, particularly that they've been bouncing back for some reason. But don't worry, we'll check up, make sure that you're going to either accept or decline your invites, and we are going to get on with some great grand finals at the end of this year.
Bass Electric tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Nicole, for the producer, says the Bass Electric ones are going out tomorrow. So expect one of those if you fished any events. If you took advantage of the Fish the First event and don't have a membership, we mightn't have some of your details. So you might have to download that entry form off the website. That downloadable entry form going to be on the website. Yep. Only have had to fish one electric event this year and you have qualified for that grand final. Let's jump to our first story tonight. We caught up with Steve Booth, talking Barra. The man himself in here for the ABT live show tonight. Steve Booth from Wilson's. You used to know this building pretty well when you worked with Fishing Monthly, but you've found your niche there at Wilson's as the marketing man. You've got some pretty cool toys to play with nowadays, haven't you?
Yeah, at the trade show we released a whole bunch of new product. It was really, really big for us. A lot of that suits the Barra market, so we're super pumped to be involved again this year with the Venom Oz Open and then the Zerek BARRA Tour after that. And we think some of these new products you guys are going to really enjoy using. Yeah, well, firstly, thanks for your involvement with the Barra stuff. I think Wilson's has been the company which has really pushed Barra fishing in the last few years. And every year when the season kicks off nearly with that Open in Lake Awonga this year, it's like Barra sales just start going up. Yep. Because we try to time it when the warm-up started. Might have missed it by a day or two this year. But through your brands, Zerek, you do mustard stuff. You're now doing duo stuff here. Yep. And your own Wilson's brand, and of course the Venom rods. You've got so many arrows in the quiver when it comes to targeting Barra. Yeah, basically our guys who are keen on the Barra fishing, which is everyone in the place, yep, want to be able to use stuff that we do. Now, I'm not suggesting that's the whole reason we got duo and live target. But they wanted to throw it. It certainly helps. Now, let's have a look at the Open. The Venom Rods Barra Australian Open, such an interesting event. It was, before the event, it was doom and gloom. Oh, no one's going to catch any fish. But always with that warm-up in the start of spring, with anglers learning how to fish the fish in that cold water, the results got better and better every day. And I can tell you now, we've had over 5,000 people visit the live scoreboards for that event. So I definitely know that you guys really have an interest in following those scoreboards. Just the fact that you can follow them during primetime TV hours is probably a bonus. You can be watching your favourite movie and keep an eye on it. Is that what you were doing? You were keeping an eye on it? Well, I was hoping to see Dicko get more than 5 misses a night, but anyway, he didn't. Yep. So yeah, I tune in every half hour or so just to check out what's going on. I did notice right at the start there that Fishing Monthly was leading the Open for about 10 minutes. Right at Loved the start. But it was really interesting to watch over the sessions that more and more barra were getting caught. So, the teams fishing obviously were learning how to catch their fish. Yeah, and Awonga, look, special sort of place at the moment. It's set up where there's nearly like a highway inside the weed line. The winning team, we talked to the Jeff Newby after the event and Keegan. They worked out the inside weed line pattern, same as Jake and Dylan. They worked out that inside weed line pattern. And we were lucky enough to stay there a week afterwards. And I'm pretty sure that if we all knew what they knew, we probably would have caught a few more barra through that event. But Awonga now, water temps are up, it's going. Even the brim guys are catching them now. So it literally is the start of barra season down in the southeast. Yep. Monty's going well, Awonga's going well now. And we're going to go to Tinaroo. So the next events we have, the start of the Zerek BARRA Series. Yep. Now, the Open is sort of a standalone event. Your points count towards Team of the Year, but the series itself, it's a series of 6 events. We have 2 of them up behind Cairns in the Atherton Tablelands at Lake Tinaroo. We've been there a couple of years now. Man, that joint gets cawed from your office, and Dicko really excited. Like, they're prepping for the Flathead Classic now, but what are they thinking about? Yeah, I've been witness to them prepping for the Flathead Classic, which starts early next week. and they'll be talking flathead, and then just it moves on to Tinaroo and the shad spawn in the morning and all this sort of stuff. They're pumped. They cannot get up there quick enough.
Yeah, it's a long drive from Brisbane, but it's definitely worth your while to go there. The fact that it's one of the few barra lakes that has an awesome morning bite. Yeah, as the sun comes up, the bonies all start spawning or frothing, or it sounds like it's raining, and you just hear the barra just coming and hoeing into them. And look, we saw last year the Anita Barra boys caught a near 90 kilo limit for their 5 fish for the all-nighter last year. We're expecting big fish to come out of that lake again, and I think that's what gets us all driving up there. Now, the teams in the Zerek BARRA Series, doesn't matter whether you fish one or all 6 of the events, you get a really cool kit bag from the guys at Wilson's, and we've got some of that stuff here. Boothy's dropped off all the product for the whole tour, and we're putting together the kit. So Boothy, run through, you get 5 really cool baits, run through them one at a time.
Well, we'll start off with one that everyone knows, which is the 5.5-inch live mullet. So that guy's a perennial favourite, especially places like a Woonga. Timbra, the guys like it. It does really,
Cast
really
it,
well.
wind it.
Yep, it's pretty simple. It's even simple enough I can use it and catch fish on it. So everyone knows about that one. Just about everybody would know about that one too, which is 7-inch flat shad. Now that's one of Troy's favourites. Caught at Faust last year, really did well on that one. So that's just a 7-inch flat shad. That's a ripper. And then we get to some old but new stuff. So that's the fish trap that Anita Barra boys developed for us in terms of the colour. So they work closely with Cord just to get that. It's their colour. It's called Anita. Not everyone will get that one because we have limited stocks. But there will be some lucky guys in their team bags get that. Some other guys will get GS1 and some other black
Some
colours.
black variants,
Yeah, some black variants, which the guys seem to think is the best thing. So
I see their boat. Their boat has just got all the fish traps so long as they're black.
yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. There's about 4 or 5 different colours of fish trap that are black, and that's all they use. So pretty keen on that one.
And then the new brand for you.
Yep. So we got 2 new brands. We got duo lures, which everyone would know about duo lures. So this time we've gone for a shallow diving one to hopefully take advantage of that shad spawn at dawn. Get up nice and shallow in amongst the flooded grass and that sort of stuff. And yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see how guys go with that. So what we aim to do is get them lures that they'll use on the cop rather than just get rid of stuff. So
and let me say that every single event, guys catch big barra on their team stuff. At the Oz Open, Jamie McEwen, he got one of his lures that he pulled out of his kit bag. He caught a 105 centimetre barra on it. That was a I can't remember what the bait was. It was this one. That was it, the live mullet. Yeah, he said he tied the one on out of the bag, and it was actually the biggest barra for the night. Won himself a venom rod, and it's not the first time it happened. I remember someone pulled out a purple. One of the fish traps and caught a 120 centimetre at Kinchin on it as well. So that's sponsor karma. That's something that I and ABT believe a lot in. So that's cool. And then the live target. This is the one that really interests me because, man, that is a bony brim right there.
yeah, absolutely. And that's going to come in 2 colours. So you're going to have the gold one and also a bluey one. But these ones have got a really subtle action. You've used them, and it sort of just swims like this, ultra realistic. It's got a nice enough hook on it and the ability to stick a stinger underneath it. So.
And that's the game changer. That little hook underneath there, you can put your big heavy treble there. All the guys that love these traditional swim baits, they love a second hook under there because every second barra you catch gets that pinned in there. This thing is just ready to put a hook on or a swivel if you want the swivel as well to stop that leverage.
The guys who are using it also saying there's enough room off the nose toe. To
if
stick
you want
another
to stick
treble. Which the guys do with the live mullet.
So that's pretty cool. The Zerek BARRA Series events are $250 for a team, and that doesn't matter if it's a 1 or a 2-day event. But in your first event of the year, you get yourself that kit bag there, and that's got to be over $100 worth of baits right there.
Oh, well and truly,
And of course, you can win the great paybacks that we have every single event. We pay back, it's normally between $1,000 and $2,000 first prize, and we pay 1 in 5 teams that enter. So good cash paybacks as well as the variety of barra sponsors. We have prizes in the prize bags going down all the way. Now, the other cool promotion that we have in the Zerek BARRA Series, it's the $12.50 for $12.50. It's gone off a few times, and if you tell us exactly what it is, because we've got a few guys here in 2020 took home the $12.50 for $12.50. Tell us about it.
So basically this one, if you catch 125 centimetre or bigger barra, and you use some of our gear in terms of a rod or a reel or a lure, or a reel, that sort of stuff, you'll earn yourself $1,250 spend with us at Wilson. So you get to email me and say, hey, I won.
Show us your
give me
catalogue.
some stuff.
And
Yeah.
it's not just $1,250 worth of stuff you give them. They get to pick what they want.
They get to pick exactly what they want. So say you're a brim guy and you manage to catch a 126, then you can get $1,250 worth of light rods and reels and tackle or whatever you want. So
There you go.
it's totally up to you. The catalogue is open for $1,250 worth.
Yep, so that's $1,250 retail. We've got Tegan Heath and Ben Williams here. They both caught 125 and 126 centimetre barras in 2020. Last year it didn't go off, but and you're good for say if we have a tournament where 10 go off, you're good for 10 lots at $1,250.
Oh, I'm good for it, but I don't have to pay the bills. So, but yeah, look, we're happy with that.
So long as you-
First year it was going to be the first one.
Yep.
But then on to we decided that, you know what, 125 is a pretty special moment. So anyone who gets a 125 gets access to
On
that.
your baits and rods and reels. So great promotion for that. So the one thing I want to know though is you're an insider at the Wilson's office, and I know the Barra Tour, it's pretty competitive inter-office. You know, who's going to do well out of the teams? We've got Dicko and Adam fishing.
Yep.
You've got Cord and Jeremy fishing together this year, and you have a couple of retailers fish under some Wilson's teams as well.
Yep.
Who's your favourite child? Who's going to do best this year?
Well, our favourite child is always our love child, Dicko. We love him to death. But having said that, Cord is the guy who won around last year, Cord and Jezza. So it's interesting. You know, my wallet says I got to back Cord. Skill level, and the Dicko fishes more than Cord does. So
Cord just likes rocking up and catching him and saying, "I've got to check, I'm leaving."
which
he did.
That's okay. And he did that really well at Kinchin last year. So I'm sitting on the fence. I can't see. You know, I've got my sales manager and my general manager.
Yeah.
I'm not picking.
Yeah. You're allowed to have a favourite child, you're just not allowed to say which one it is.
Exactly.
Well, you can follow all of the information, but for Tinaroo, it's all on the live scoreboards on www.abt.org.au. And then one final thing, because the first round is the Wilson's round at Lake Tinaroo. It's a 2-night championship. There's even an extra throw in for that.
Yep. So
all the teams.
Every team who fishes will get themselves one of the vibe boxes. So that's a big, large barra box.
Yeah,
waterproof, and it's also got the slots there, so you can put your soft plastics in there and just let them rest nicely without them bending and all that sort of stuff.
So that thing full of fish traps will get you through the whole tour, and that's just another bonus for the people that want to sign up and fish that first event, the Wilson's event at Lake Tinaroo. Keep an eye on the site, and we're keen as mustard.
Oh! Cool, yeah, fish on. Make sure. Great fish. Dropping. Crazy fish. Looking good. Cracking fish. That's a G. Oh, that's a good one. The sweat coming out of it. How cool is that? Woo! Oh man, that was fun.
Well, there you go. That's enough Wilson's product to keep you excited. And if that doesn't get you excited, I don't know what will. Plenty of great stuff for the teams coming there. But also, if you want to win some Wilson stuff, I've got this Wilson stuff here. I've got some 60-pound Wilson fluorocarbon leader. I've got one of the Duo Realis jerkbaits. This is one of the deep ones, suspending. I've got one of the Tango Shad finesse jerkbaits here. I've got the Big Dong flat shad. Big Dong. That's him there, and I've got a medium dong. That's one of the smaller flat shads there. So, and I've got a sneaky. Don't tell Boothie there's a sneaky Samaki Reddick in there as well, left over from last year. So that Barra prize there, we're going to give it away to someone tonight. Doesn't matter whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. Tell me one of the brands, the 2 new brands that Wilson's are doing. Is it the one that starts with D, or is it the one that starts with L that has 2 words? And you know what? If you don't know the answer, just look at some of the comments down here. They'll have them right. This one used to be owned by Dye. We used to distribute, actually. Wilson's have picked it up. And the other one, the 2-word one, used to be distributed by EJ Todd. So they're products you've already seen on the shelf, but now Wilson's are cornering the market in that Barra gear there. So to do that, name it. Doesn't matter. Facebook, YouTube, we'll pick one randomly from the 2. A random winner will win that Barra pack tonight. We're all here. We all want to see him. Let's hear from him. Carl Jocumsen, Australia's first man to win a Bassmaster Elite event.
Let us make this absolutely clear. The days of wasted casts and missed opportunities are over. New Mega Imaging takes fishing into the megahertz range for the first time, because higher frequency sonar means higher frequency of this. Without a doubt, it's the most detailed picture of the world below ever. And it's only from Humminbird.
So he's back down from the mountains. He's had a shower, I assume. And Carl, you tired of eating elk yet?
No, I'll never be tired of eating elk. We have about a year's worth right now, so we'll be eating a lot of elk between. I'll probably be jacked by the time you see me at the Classic. I might have 20 pounds of elk muscle put on me.
You'll have antlers by then, mate.
Yeah.
And look, Everett, we announced the news months ago, but it's getting closer now. The ABT Barra Tour. You're doing all of the Mackay legs. I reckon that's one thing you also don't get sick of, the first 10 seconds of a fight with a barra.
Yeah. It's you know, I tell everyone over here that it's you know, by far the most special world-class fishing I think that I've ever experienced, and I've lived it and breathed it and fished for it since I was, you know, I think I caught my first barra at a Wonga when I don't think I could drive. Zach drove, so it must have been about 16. And, you know, I was just hooked ever since then. But, like, you never get sick of that first bite. And I tell guys over here that when you're winding a bait back, it's like the first time you went fishing every time. That bite, just like you can never be ready for it. You can never get yourself prepped for, like, how violent the bite and the fight's going to be for that first couple minutes. So I'm excited to see Gussie hook his first one.
Well, that's it. You got your mandate for the Barra Tour. We don't know what your team name is yet, but it's Carl Jocumsen and Jeff Gustafson from Canada. And correct, he's. I've been sort of winding him up a little bit, and no amount of winding up that we can do can prepare him for how good that first fish is going to be for him. How have you been stirring him up?
Yeah, same thing. I've been sending him little clips of, you know, some guys that you see that will post some stuff, and sending him a few crocodile clips just to stir him up. But yeah, I've been getting him ready. We had a good talk at the last one, sort of roughly what gear, braid, leaders, and then he wants to like go to a few musky stores up in Canada and around where he is and try and bring some cool baits over, you know, maybe that we can try on him and just do stuff like that. But it's going to be an amazing trip. His wife Shelby's coming over, and Kayla's going to sort of take her around for a little bit while we're up in the tour, and they're going to, you know, Gussie's going to get to experience sort of the real Australia, like not the touristy stuff. We're going to be driving up the coast, and, you know, it's going to be, the Barra's going to be a bonus, I feel, for him, but he's probably going to be hooked for life when he hooks his first one.
Yeah, we've dealt with Shelby. She seems very organised. She's the one that keeps that partnership on the rails, isn't it?
Yeah, she's got it sorted. They're going down and seeing Sydney for a couple of days and having a chill out, flying in, and then, you know, they're just going to see all the cool sights, and then Gussie and I are going to get to go barra fishing for 9 days, which is going to be as good as it gets.
Yeah,
excited.
It is pretty good, mate. And we've got Mark Sarek's got his boat lined up for you. It's a little skeeter with an SHO on the back, and it's full of all the Humminbird kit. He's going to have live on it, and I'm pretty sure Sean's trying to organise him a target lock pole as well. So you should have all the gear and no excuses, mate. We're expecting you to win.
No excuses, except I haven't been home for 5 years, and I've got a Canadian in the boat with me.
I've been watching Gussie's socials feeds from Canada. He's sort of dominating those local events. He just comes home and cherry picks everyone's pocket. Takes all the money.
He said, I forget what he said, but he texted me the other day. We hadn't spoken for a bit, and he'd been fishing every day, I think, since like he got back home. And for Canada, basically, this is just like the primes, like it's just beautiful weather and the fishing's just phenomenal. It's all pushed back later. It's almost like springtime for them up there because it stays so cold right through the year, and the fishing's just, you know, unbelievable. It's the same as where I'm at right now in Idaho. Me and Brandon started going out, and, you know, I had a elk tag in Idaho and Montana, and it's rare to get that, and it's expensive, and you got to put in big time. And we got to fish a little bit, and the fishing is so good. I'm like, I want to go and get an elk so I can get back and start fishing again, because we got some mega days, just smallmouth sights, seeing them, using live, just big ones. I got all of Kayla's family out there. Everyone was catching them, getting double hookups. It was a lot of fun. So I got a few days off now. I got my elk. It's all done, and we're back in Idaho. So I've been getting to do a little bit of fishing, and we're actually doing a big Hobie shoot for the next 2 days. We've got Hobie flying in to Spokane, Washington, and then they're driving over, and we're going to like get some Hobies and get into some of the lakes and the rivers, and we've got a 2-day shoot with them.
Excellent. The birthday of yours was a few days ago, but you said you're going out for dinner tonight, mate. Just take us back about 3 years. What happened 3 years ago on your birthday?
Yeah, there's definitely something on my birthday that's good, but it's going to be pretty hard to ever top the 2019 one. So turned 35 and won 10-killer Elite Series event, and pretty much changed our life. You know, life was good, but we were always right on the edge of whether we're in, out, financial stuff, the expenses of it all, and that just like was that break that every angler needs if you want to get to the next level, and that put us there. And life's been pretty cool since that day.
Do you ever think back to what it was like to be broadcast for 9 years and you miss the feeling?
I think about it every single day. That's why I work my butt off. I never want to have that feeling again.
Yeah.
It was, it was good, but it was rough. You're fishing in a crazy expensive sport, sort of, and it looks like you're making it, but you're not. It's a weird feeling, a weird way to try and navigate through it. But, you know, it's gives you a crazy appreciation, and sort of almost, it's a tough one to explain, but yeah, it's pretty much was hanging on by the skin of my teeth for about 10 years straight, just non-stop, just right, you know. And then without all of that, the feeling of 10-killer wouldn't have been what it is. It was the greatest thing that's ever, you know, I've ever felt in my life. Just unbelievable. And you know, the other day when I got off the water of Mississippi, and then it hit and the points came in, and it showed me that I was 100%. I talked to Ronnie and I was in the Classic. It was a very similar feeling to that, even though like it didn't, you know, it wasn't as big a financial and all of that stuff. It was just that lifelong goal, thinking about when I was 14, watching coming down to a tournament and looking at boats and then thinking I'm going to fish the Bassmaster Classic. It's pretty surreal.
And look, 25 Aussies already have paid deposits to come and watch you in the ABT tour of the Classic. I know guys are going over independently as well, so we should have a fair old Aussie cheer stand up in the bleachers there for you, mate. When you drive through, there'll be Aussie flags waving all over the place. So anyone watching the show, if you're keen on the trip, the details are on the ABT site there. And I don't know how many Nicole can fit in there to do it, but she's doing a good job getting everyone corralled and organised. And we're staying at a hotel that's walking distance from the start and from the centre. So it's like right in the middle of Knoxville, we've got a place organised.
Have you got a cap of how many people you can handle, or are you just it's wide open?
I don't know. I'm going to defer to the ABT boss, Nicole Smith, about that one, but we'll definitely talk about that, and I think you'll appreciate the Aussies in the crowd. Now, I've got some Barra questions for you. What do you think you've learned in the US in the last 5 years since you haven't been home that you're itching to throw at a Barra?
You know, it's kind of like here as well. There's like baits that are super fun to catch big bass on and that I love to fish, but like they just don't play in tournament situations. So there's baits that I'm in love with, and I want to fish after the tournament or after the season. And it's like a glide bait, but if it plays in a tournament, you can do really well. So I know that's how it is with barra fishing too. Like, you've got baits where you can catch barra on them. It's great fun. It might be new, show them something different. But then there's baits where that hook barra, land barra, get consistent bites, and that's, what you sort of have to do in a tournament. So tournament wise, when I come up there, I'm definitely going to be trying just to get, catch some numbers, get some bites, and not get sort of too crazy. If I was going up there for 9 days just fishing, I'd definitely be bringing like a wild arsenal of stuff just to. The last time I was home, like, I caught a 102 on the big bull shad, like the 10-inch bull shad, and caught some on the glide bait, and just trying different stuff. But we've definitely got, I'm going to bring, like, my suitcase is probably going to weigh more than it should, bringing some new stuff over. My dream is to, like, come home one day for like a year and have like my boat and truck and be able to fish for bass and cod and barra, and like have all of my tackle, and then be able to fish jigs and big 3/4 1 ounce jigs for cod, and all of my glide baits and my setups, and be able to like actually have time in the like right seasons. I think that would be so cool. But when you're on a time crunch and then you're in a tournament, you better be like just trying to get some bites and get in the right areas. So I'll be sticking with probably the essentials for most of it.
Fair call. So all the other competitors are encouraging you to throw all the weird shit, of course, because they want to they want to roll the little swim bait and catch the barras and show you how to do it. Now, another place they're going to try and show you how to do it is, it's pretty famous. After the all-nighter, there's a big tree up at Kangaroo Proserpine. Everyone sits under, and they all bring their seats out, and they all have a beer or two or three or four, and it rolls into the party night. How prepared are you to get to have a beer with the Barra boys? They're pretty savage.
A1. That'll be that'll be me. No, I wouldn't even try and deal with the boys. That kill.
Oh, you got no choice. I don't think you got a choice.
Yeah.
I think
I'll be in there, but like, I know better. I know I want to finish the tour, not die.
All right. You have been warned, and what we need from you is we're going to let you go and have your birthday dinner now. But what we need from you is we need you to think yourself up a good team name. It can't just be a couple of sponsor names. I want you to think up something good: Australia, Canada, in a nice, concise Barra team name. So we got.
You should be good at that. You should be good at that. What can we do? The melting pot or something? The mix.
I'll get something. I'll get something with a maple leaf and a kangaroo in it. Don't worry.
That's what we need.
We'll get you sorted out. Any words you got for your Aussie fans, mate? They were all snapping their doodles off. They were that excited you made the classic. So.
No, it's so cool. It's going to be just incredible. The Aussies. I've spoke about it before. One of the biggest worries was that I was leaving Australia, and kind of like I was going to lose a lot of that support that I had, and just to see it grow and triple and go, it's so motivating for me. And then to represent Australia and my country and going to be on that stage, and the Aussies just seeing that, the post and the support, and like people that, just are going to sacrifice, go hard and fly to America to be there to watch me, it means the world to me. And when I come out on that stage and I'm representing Australia and I get to see the fans up there, that's going to be everything to me. You're not going to be able to kill my vibe that entire week. It's going to be one of the greatest ones probably of my life. And just want to say thank you to all the Aussies for staying behind me. And it's been a battle. I got here in 2011 and made it in 2023, so it happens fast for some people. But to be an Australian coming in and fishing against these guys, I knew I was going to be in for the long haul, and I battled it out, and now we're there. And I want them to feel like they're just as big a part of it as me, so I'll be up there representing everyone.
Awesome, mate. Everyone's proud of you. Go and have a great dinner, and thanks for joining us on ABT Live. We're going to see you in about a bit over a month's time.
Yeah, it's coming quick. We're all prepped. We're going home, getting my boat and everything sorted. I'll leave here, I think, on the 1st and get home, and then we'll be packing, getting tackle ready, trying to put everything together, and then we fly out on the 20th, get to spend some time with my family and stuff, and then and that's going to be amazing because I haven't been home for so long, and then we'll be on the road heading to the Barra Tour. So lots of exciting stuff coming.
Also, great, mate. We'll stay in touch and we'll catch up with you soon.
Okay, see you guys.
You'll have the chance for showers or thunderstorms, and also little disturbances rumbling along this thing will bring us a chance for rain.
Well, there you go. How exciting is it to get Carl back to Australia? First time in about 5 years he's been back. A bit of family time, but a bit of fishing time as well. And I'm really excited to see how good Gussie's going to think Barra are. It's going to be great. Remember the 2 comps we've got tonight? Tell us where you are. You could win the Daiwa Bait Junkie pack there. Tell us one of the 2 new Wilson's brands. You could win this big pile of Wilson's tackle. We have one more segment tonight. The big event coming up, and we're giving away a $50,000 boat package as usual, is the 13 Fishing Bass Pro Grand Final. We caught up with 2 of the legends from the area. Well, one's a legend because he just catches all the fish there. The other's just because he wins all the grand finals. Dane Price, Bo Overley. Here they are after a sponsor's message.
Well, here they are, 2 of the people who we think will probably play a big part in this year's 13 Fishing Bass Pro Grand Final down on the Clarence River. Got 2-time grand final winner Dane Price there, down from you're from Bonnells Bay, down Lake Macquarie. G'day, Dane.
Hey guys, how are we going?
And I've got Bo Everley, who, and if Tony Thorley is the mayor of Grafton, then I reckon you must be deputy mayor, Bo, because you got your finger on the pulse of what's going down there in that joint and know every bass by name. How are you going, Bo?
Yeah, I'm going well, mate. It's good. A little bit dry.
He's it's always good to see. Sometimes there's a bit of negativity when there's a flood going through town, and Bo's always good for a video or 2 saying, check what I caught in the floodwaters, and he's holding up some giant bass somewhere saying, they like fresh water. It doesn't matter how much floodwater. They're gonna bite somewhere. Now, let's start off with how the river's looking, Bo. Like the last 2 times I've been to the Clarence, it's been preceded by a fair old flood beforehand. Have to push all the mud back out of the park. But then the tournament itself has fished its titties off. Been great. We've just had another couple of metres through Grafton. Tell us what's happened.
Yeah, river looks good. It's brown, but like we fished Corokai grand final last year, and it was a lot worse. So a couple of weeks, our water should be back to normal. A couple of good tides, flush it out, and it'll be happy days again.
I think when we fish that river, it always sort of looks a little bit dirty, but it's actually got, a foot or 2 of visibility in it. And I don't know what it is, but when it's not that crystal clear, it seems the bass bite better, don't they?
Yeah. No, it gives them a little bit more shaded area where they can't see us and we can't see them, and yeah, it goes off its head.
Dane, you did well last year. We won the grand final last year in the Richmond River, and it was a very similar situation. There'd just been a fair bit of water through the joint. It was fairly dirty. But you managed to put the fish together to win, and not surprisingly, your biggest one caught on a jig. How does dirty water affect that jig fishing? Is it a real sight deal? They need to see it, or do they feel it when it's in the water?
I think it is more of a sight thing. I think obviously they don't vibrate or anything. You drag along the bottom, it's going to bump into a few things, and that's going to draw them in a little bit. But I think they do need to see it to bite it. So yeah, I think one of the important things I was doing last year was just taking it a little bit slower, just really picking everything apart and fishing slow, and yeah, got the bites. It was like I said, slow, but it worked. So
Now, Bo, tell us about the little flood that just went through there. From the way I saw it, it looks like all the water came down the Nimboida and the Arara, and that main river that runs into Copmanhurst. The main river didn't get much of a rise because it was really coastal, that rain?
Yeah, so on the Thursday, like we got at Grafton itself, we got 40 mil.
Yep.
But like Coss Harbour, which the Arara pretty much nearly starts at, got like 150 mil in one day. So, and with how little the Arara is, like was a huge influx of water.
Yep.
And we all know where the Arara meets the Clarence, which is just before Copmanhurst. And yeah, I took the drone out and had a fly of the drone where the junction of that is, and yeah, no, it was pretty scary. Volume of water coming out of it.
Yep. Now, Dane, you run a big boat, you run a big Ranger. You're able to cover probably every single bit of water that's in the Clarence. How do you do a pre-fish in one day? Like, it's a big river. There's probably 100 kilometers from top to bottom of water you can catch bass in. How do you break it down for a pre-fish in a river so big?
I wish I had a good answer to that, but I guess last year I just went one way and sort of gauged how I went the other way after that, and then picked from there. Picked the way that I caught a bigger fish, and with the last event at the Clarence, that didn't work anyway, so I wouldn't be copying that strategy.
So when you're making your decision on which way to fish on one fish, that might be a little bit risky, mightn't it? Because if it's just the lone odd big fish you catch, it mightn't be a pattern.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely risky. You could almost say it's as risky or more to catch multiple big fish that you're not going to catch the next day then as well, though. So it's a little bit of a trade-off, but it's normally what I go with.
Bo, you're fishing as a non-boater in this event, and historically Bass Pro Grand Finals, I think, have been shared weight a lot of the time, but it's individual weight this time. 5 fish for your boater, 3 for the non-boater, and it's all on the ABT Tournament Series app. Who are you most scared of in the field there? Who's going to be your biggest threats to getting up? Because there's some fair gun anglers in the back of these boats.
Yeah, no, this year there's actually a lot of good fellas that are in the grand final. Last year we had a pretty small grand final mark, but this year COVID? There's going to be, with COVID and that. But this year there's going to be a few good ones. Can't go past Tommy Woods at the moment. Like, that kid is on fire.
He's on fire, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. You can't. It doesn't matter what he throws in the water. He seems to get big fish on it. So yeah, no, my big call would be Tommy Woods, and then you can't go past 2 locals like Matty Cameron and Cameron Hall. Like, they're tuned in on the river. Like, we fish it nearly every weekend, so
yeah,
they know how to pull a rabbit out of their hat when they need it. So it literally is going to be anyone's game from the back of the boat for the nonnies.
Especially with 3 fish, if you catch a 2 kilo plus fish, it makes such a difference in that bag, doesn't it? Like, a kicker goes a long way in a 3 fish bag.
Oh God, yeah. Like, even in a 5 fish bag, like you've got to at least, in a 5 fish bag, you've got to at least have 1, 2 you're laughing, 3 you're coming home thinking you've got to check. Yep. And with nonny, you need at least 1 fish 45 centimeters.
Yeah.
And look, I won't be surprised if you see a nonny bringing 3 fish that are bigger than 40 centimeters. Really, like, it's pretty good. Like, in Bill Webster, 2 weeks before this flood happened, and we pulled 5 fish out for 8 kilo.
Wow. Oh, well, we hope we see fishing like that in the grand final, mate. It's a good river and it can happen there. Dane, on the boater side, I think we're missing Coney, who won the qualifier there earlier in the year. Who are your biggest threats you're looking over the shoulder for to get in the road of your 3-peat party?
I think there's 3 pretty big players in it. Mick Johnson, he's had a real consistent year. I think he was almost the top 10 throughout the whole, for every round. Yep. He's definitely going to be up there. Nick Brunye, he had an awesome finish on the Richmond River last year at Korakai. And yeah, I know he wants it bad, and I reckon he'll do pretty good. And the last one's probably no surprise. Mike Nelson, he's really good on that river. He knows it pretty well. I think he's won it down south and north, so he's definitely one to watch out for.
Yeah, I think so, and I think that's a pretty good choice of three anglers that I'd be watching over my shoulder for. And Dane, another question that I ask you, you've won a lot of money fishing jigs, but it seems like there's a variety of lures do well in that river. If it wasn't to be one on a jig, what sort of technique you could play?
I think a spinnerbait, like a spinnerbait, bassman spinnerbait's probably going to be up there. There'll be plenty of fish caught on them all weekend, especially that like mid-early spring bite. I would have to say a spinnerbait. Everyone's going to have one tied on, and everyone will catch fish on them. So good option. Yeah,
and Bo, the Deputy Mayor of Grafton, if you were going to recommend three lures for a nonny to bring along to the grand final, and nonny's going to the grand final, listen to this. What would be, if you could only take three baits, what would they be?
I'm gonna cheat and I'm gonna go 4. I'm gonna go Z-Man Frog.
Yep.
Jig, Bassman spinnerbait in 25 all the way up to 27 in the colour range.
Yep.
And ZX.
A blade.
Yeah.
That's right. Currently, the man first out of the cut is Nick Anderson, who is itching to get into this event, and he is with a blade in these rivers, isn't he? I think, Dane, if you make sure all the boaters enter that are going to enter, then you can keep Nick out of
it. Yeah, okay. Well, didn't we already lose Coney, though?
No. I've got a feeling I know where Nick's going to go first anyway.
Yeah, I think I do as well. I don't even know the river. Hey, one other thing in town there, Grafton Firearms, where we had the briefing last time. First time I'd been to that shop. It's an ABT member tackle shop. How good is their range of stuff in that store? It blew me away, the range of awesome tackle they've got.
Oh, it is unreal. And look out, Dan's just spent a stupid amount of money at AFTA, and it's just come in. And, yeah, you thought it was good last year, like halfway through this year. Yeah, no, this year he's going to be on point with some very nice gear.
Where's he going to put it, though?
I don't know.
It was full last time. It's going to have it on the roof, I think.
I mentioned to him the other day that I might have to start an online shop for him because it's bursting at the seams at the moment.
There you go. He'll have more tackle than Mo tackle soon. But look, great shop. It's a little bit out of the road. You've got to find it. Like, you have to Google it to find where it is. We're having the briefing there. We're going to have a bit of a feed there. I know that I didn't leave there without spending at least 3 figures. I was spending buying all the different sorts of lures, all the stuff that I hadn't seen in other places. Great place to stock the tackle shops, and great to see the local support in Grafton, mate. I'm excited about the grand final. Any final comments, Dane Price? What's your prognostication that's going to blow our socks off when it actually happens?
That's a hard one. Maybe we'll go with something we almost had a few years ago at the grand final at the Richmond River, where Joey missed out by 10 grams. Maybe we'll have a dead heat and a count back for first place.
Ooh, wouldn't that be an exciting reveal at the end of it? Have you ever been at one of those close events where you haven't won?
I've never got second. I've got third. I feel like second would hurt a bit more.
Yeah, you only do odd numbers, don't you? Fair enough. And Bo, if something crazy was going to happen this year, what would your prediction be for something crazy that went on at the grand final?
We already had Coney towed back last year, so we'll do no breakdowns. But I reckon
that's right. Coney was leading the grand final, and his boat broke down on day 2.
Yeah, bad luck, very bad luck, and then not to come this year. So no, he's had. Hopefully next year he can redeem himself. But no, I reckon we could see a 9 kilo bag.
There you go. 9 kilo bag for 5 fish. The Clarence is the joint to do it. Guys, thanks for taking your time to have a chat with us on ABT Live. We will see both of you at the 13 Fishing Bass Pro Grand Final on the Clarence.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
seeing the fish, their position, and how they respond in real time. That's game changing.
There you go. We had a bit of a conversation going behind the scenes there. Nearly missed the Lawrence ad, the active target going there. We've got some winners for you tonight. Thanks for joining us at short notice. Had over 100 viewers via the two channels for most of the night, so that's fantastic. On YouTube, Clinton McDermott wins the Barra pack. I've already packed it up for you here, mate. He said Duo, which was one of the two brands. The other, of course, is Live Target. Clinton, I'm pretty sure you're an ABT member, so I'm pretty sure we've got your address on file. We're going to mail that one out to you. Where are you from? Mark van der Westen from Ipswich in Queensland wins the Daiwa pack of the Bait Junkies. Mark, reach out to us on Facebook, send us a message, and we will give us your address. I'm going to get this in the mail to you, and it will be in the mail while we are travelling up to Tinaroo. I think that's all we've got for tonight. 3 main stories, short and sharp show. Thank you very much to Nicole who put it all together. I just take all the glory here in front of the camera. Make sure you keep up with all of the live scoreboards for the live events that are coming up. The Grand Finals live, Tinaroo's live, the Tinaroo All-Nighters live, www.abt.org.au.